Hello and welcome to day number 10 of the 100-day video challenge I have set for myself in my attempts to break through the fear of being seen on the internet and also sharing all the valuable learnings that I have in here with you all in hopes that it also helps you on your own journeys. So I had in my previous video a comment left, and I apologize, I'll probably stuff up the name. Haraz asked me about, in a previous video that I shared, that I was an overthinker and what tips or tricks would I recommend to avoid spiraling, especially with like ADHD. It can definitely happen because we have very, very creative minds, and sometimes it goes down a path that isn't quite what we want it to be, or it just doesn't serve us at the time. This is a very cool question. I really appreciate this one because it's something that I've been working on for quite a while, and I feel like we can all relate to those moments where we do feel ourselves spiraling, and that's when our emotions really rise up to the top, whether it's sadness or anger or frustration and overwhelm. All those really big feelings show up for us. So usually now I can sort of tell when I'm starting to get into what Em and I call like the orange zone or the red zone. So I can't remember what source this was from that Em told me about a while ago, but it's sort of like our sliding scale of being able to let each other know where we're at. So if we're in the green, we're all good, we're fine, we can handle anything. Orange zone, we may need either time away, some food, some water, or some rest. Red zone is where I personally need to take myself out of the circumstance that I am in to regulate again before I can come back to what I'm dealing with, if time allows. Sometimes we don't have the option. Sometimes we just have to do the best that we can in the moment whilst it's happening. But having that ability to recognize the warning signs in the lead up is definitely one huge skill that I would recommend. And that just comes from daily practice of being aware about how you're feeling, whether you've eaten, whether you've slept well, whether you are in comfy clothes, whether you are hanging out with people that really bring out the best in you, or people that may not sort of treat you the way that you know in yourself that you deserve to be treated. It all comes from a lot of practice of self-awareness. And like I said, in those different realms, it will indicate to me what I need at the time. And I've found in particular, when I have gone past that point of like the overwhelm or the sadness or any of the big emotions, the time after, if I have somebody that I can debrief with and talk about what's going on, it also helps to release it afterwards. Sometimes that's not always doable straight after, and the person that you're talking to, I feel like we know who they are. Like, they're the people that see us through our brightest days and our darkest moments. They are the ones that love us unconditionally, and I mean unconditionally. Having those sorts of people around is definitely a help. Sometimes in the moments they can tell you, or even beforehand, they will see the signs. They will be like, would you like some food? Do you need some water? Do you need to get out of here? Like, me personally, I've always struggled with noise. Like, ever since I was a kid, I could hear like the little bug repellent things that you plug into the wall. They make like a high-pitched noise. That has always been a thing through my life that I have struggled with, just noise in general. And it's only been in the last like year to 6 months where Em herself actually got me some of the loop earplugs and some noise cancelling headphones that you may have seen me wearing in my previous posts on Instagram and Facebook. And they really help. even of a nighttime, having the industrial earplugs, you're not like, don't sleep in them all the time. It's just the nights where I really struggle that I'll pop them in and it helps me sleep. Which leads me into another way of coping is if you're in a moment where you know you're at the verge of overwhelm, is there a stimuli that you can take out in that moment to help you regulate a bit more into the green zone? So say it's like you're in a busy shopping center, it is hot, it is noisy, you're wearing like uncomfy shoes, like you're a bit hungry. My first point of call would be moving to an area that's cooler. I don't know about some of you out there, but when I'm hot is when I get angry more. Like I get overwhelmed a lot quicker when I'm overheated than when I'm cooler. So being aware about the options that you have in the moment, and that can be very hard. Like this takes a lot of practice. I am by no means an expert in this. I'm only sharing the tips that I personally use myself. If you've got any other tips that you've used in the past, please share in the comments. It could help someone who's watching this. And I lost my train of thought. That's okay. It'll come back. ADHD is all the fun. So yeah, going into where we can take out a stimuli. So like the headphones, if I'm in a busy shopping center, but I've got the headphones with me, I can pop them on. That cuts out a stimuli to stop me from going into orange zone or red zone overwhelm. Ideally, you can take out 2 or 3 stimuli until you can come back to like a manageable zone, until you can completely get to a space where you've got the time and the resources to regulate again. Another thing that I've found useful is like little quotes. So one of my favorite quotes that I've always had is that this too shall pass. It may pass like a gallstone, but it'll pass. And it reminds me that I'm feeling this certain way right now in this point in time, but it won't last forever. It's like any emotion. Like we always strive for happiness in some areas, but happiness also is fleeting. Sadness is fleeting. Anger is fleeting. Like we can't keep those high energy emotions going all the time. So being able to give myself a little reminder that, okay, I'm overstimulated, this is pretty shit, but it's going to eventually stop, is one sort of way of like a little remembering that I can just wait it out sort of thing if the circumstance says that I can. I think that's pretty much my main go-tos at the moment. If you can, in the moments where it is super overwhelming, having someone that does know your tells is also very handy. I know I touched on it just before, but I cannot stress enough surrounding yourself with people that really care about where you're at, and whether they need to support you through the stressful moments if you're doing like something important, or whether they're like, hey, let's just get out of here. Like this can wait. We can go shopping another time, like another time of day when it's quieter and there's less people around. That is a really cool thing to be able to have too. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it at the moment. If I think of any more though, I definitely will share them in future. Because yeah, the noise thing has definitely been one of my biggest struggles. And the overthinking side is, it's there with ADHD. I think that's with everybody. We all overthink a little bit. And sometimes we just got to remember that like our reptilian brain is still looking for the tiger in the grass when we don't have too many things like chasing us at the moment. Sometimes we're in situations where it is true. I have been there. But again, the time when you're in it can be shitty, and I'm sorry that you've had to go through those times. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, like at the end of the emotion. There is always going to be a change later on, and you won't be at that peak state. And rest. Allow yourself rest away from other people. Like, give yourself you time. That it can be scary. It can be scary for some people who really enjoy being around people all the time. But when you're not around everybody's opinions and views and that sort of thing, most of the time coming from a loving, caring place, don't get me wrong, but when you don't have the mental load of like 5 different people's opinions on you, and you can just give yourself you time to really sit with things and not be rushed, it can also help a lot. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you dig the lights in the back. I'm super stoked that they're working. If you've got any other questions, I would love to answer them. Apart from that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye for now.